Because both Andrew and Tristan Tate have spent the last few years trying to build bonds with the Trump administration and even with members of President Donald Trump's own family.
Every argument Andrew Tate has made for the past 3 years rests on one assumption: that powerful people in America would step in when it mattered. This week, that assumption got tested publicly because the US Secretary of State, the man reporters keep describing as holding the final call on this extradition, was asked about it directly on camera.
Should they have been
Mention me by name?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, look, that extraditions, I don't know the details of this particular case. I've been overseas, but I mean, I know who you're talking about. I just don't know the details of it. These cases have a process that they go through in the courts. My understanding is that they're involved in that judicial process. And so that'll play itself out at this point. And there's no role for us to play at this moment or maybe ever in that regard. But I'm not going to opine on something that's still working through a legal process.
No role at this moment and possibly no role ever. That's the answer, guys. Trump is letting this go ahead, and the president will not be blocking the brothers' return to Britain following their Miami arrest on fresh sex abuse charges. For Tate specifically, that's close to the worst possible outcome. He's spent countless podcast hours framing all of this as a politically motivated attack while carefully building American political connections, and now none of those connections can intervene even if they wanted to. Trump simply doesn't want anywhere near it, which leaves exactly one country still capable of changing the outcome here.
And it turns out Kamala admits that we moved the fucking needle. That is a flex, bro.
In a 3-hour podcast Tate released recently, he laid out what he describes as a chess move that makes it impossible for Britain to extradite him at all.
But I think the Brits are in a quagmire because, like Moby Dick, in their haste to get hold of me, they didn't quite understand the complexities of extradition and also the brutal inefficiency of Romanian law. Because the Brits tried to extradite me, and the warrant has been satisfied. I will be extradited when my Romanian case is complete. My Romanian case is on a prosecutor's desk. If the prosecutor closes the case, Romania owes me $1 billion. So it's in the prosecutor's interest to keep the case open on his desk, a case he can't fix, until he retires. Because if he closes it, they owe me $1 billion. And the UK can't get me as long as that case is open. The UK are pissed, calling the Romanians saying, close the case if you don't have a case. And the Romanians are saying, we're not saying we don't have a case, we're saying it's difficult to fix, but we're going to try because if they close it, they owe me $1 billion.
Multiple countries running separate legal proceedings simultaneously creates genuine mess. His argument runs like this: Romania got there first, that case remains open, and Romanian authorities have already committed to handing him over to the UK once it concludes. But he claims they can't actually convict him of anything, and he's countersuing for an enormous sum if they fail to secure a conviction. So the incentive for Romania is to leave that file sitting open indefinitely, because an open case is a case they haven't lost yet.
So the UK, when James Altmaier wrote to them, were like, we can't technically do that legally, because we've already tried to extradite him and the extradition warrant has been satisfied. So now what happens? When I fly around the world, like I was just in Hong Kong, is that the Foreign Office of the UK call the hotel and try and get me kicked out of the hotel. That's how petty and pathetic they are. The owner of the Rosewood Hong Kong, which is the top-ranked hotel in the world, by the way, #1, it won in 2026 the best hotel in the world. The owner of the hotel is a friend of mine. And he came to me and said, you will not believe the British government just called me and told me that you're a criminal and that you have an active extradition warrant out of Romania and that we should kick you out of this hotel. I said, the British government has time to call hotels and try and make me, I mean, what does that do? It doesn't extradite me. It just inconveniences me. I have to go get another hotel. They are spending government money trying to inconvenience me by getting me kicked out of hotels because they can't extradite me because the Romanians won't close the case because then the Romanians owe me money because I haven't done anything.
Whether you think Tate is completely innocent or belongs behind bars permanently, there's one point virtually everyone agrees on. The Romanian handling of this has been shambolic. They arrested him during the pandemic right as he was exploding globally. Years later, he's been living in their country the entire time, and they still haven't secured a single conviction. Cases keep collapsing there. And this month, they've announced yet another one, claiming they'll try again. Realistically, this could run indefinitely.
Girl A, I'm going to talk about her history in a minute. I go back to house arrest. And finally, because after these 3 years, I've never had a trial. I've never had a chance to present evidence or anything. I've never had a chance to say, oh, by the way, do you know girl A accused 10 other men of sexual assault? Do you know girl A accused her father of sexual assault? Do you know girl A is on psychiatric drugs? Do you know girl A has been sectioned? Do you know, I don't have a chance. I have the evidence, but I've never had a chance to present it.
What was that last part you said? Girl A has been
Sectioned.
What's that mean?
Taken to a mental institution against her will.
Got it.
Their most recent filing reportedly involved somewhere between 30 and 35 alleged victims and substantial financial exploitation claims, and he's still not been convicted of anything. They've had him under house arrest exactly where they wanted him, dragged back and forth to court well over 100 times, and produced nothing.
The trial. I haven't beaten a trial. I haven't gone to trial and won. No, I've never been to trial ever. Every single nation state which came out with this garbage, which is pushed by George Soros-funded NGOs, has attempted to find evidence to put me in jail. And they never, Romania, England, never found enough evidence to even get to trial. 6 years I've been waiting to prove my innocence, and I have never, ever had a trial. What I've had is accusations. What I've had is Twitter detectives thinking they know more than judges.
Honestly, the only realistic path forward is Romania and the UK sitting down together and negotiating an arrangement where British proceedings run first.
Had is people bringing up decade-old videos saying I said something which was uncouth 10 years ago. But a comedian can make a joke on YouTube pretending he's racist or a cowboy. It doesn't make him racist or a cowboy. YouTube videos are not real. You need victims, you need medical records, you need proof, you need a date, a time, a where, a when. You need people to testify against you. You need evidence. I have never even had a trial ever. And I've been begging my lawyers, get me to trial. Take this to trial. I want to prove I'm innocent. Let's get all the facts out there. Let's go to trial. Let's show that I'm completely innocent from head to toe. And no nation state has ever managed to even get me in court.
The range of possible outcomes here is genuinely strange, guys. There's a scenario where two governments effectively compete over custody of the same man. America hands him to Britain through their existing relationship, and Romania then approaches Britain asking for him back to finish what they started. Some understanding between them is where this probably lands. The arrest did trigger calls from prominent Republicans for Trump to intervene, with supporters framing the brothers as targets of a politically motivated witch hunt comparable to what the president says he faced. A US official told The Telegraph the White House would stay out of it entirely, describing a case expected to drag on for months and stating the administration has no involvement and no feelings on the matter. And here's a genuinely wild detail worth mentioning. Kamala Harris lost that election to Trump, then wrote a book afterwards. In her own account, she identifies figures like Andrew Tate consistently backing Trump as one of the significant contributors to her defeat. Her words, her biography.
And it turns out Kamala admits that we moved the fucking needle. That is a flex, bro. 2025, write it in stone, because they're going to delete everything off the internet. They're going to delete it all off Wikipedia. Write it in stone, go to Mount Rushmore. Andrew Tate defeated Kamala Harris. He did it. Even though they were putting him in jail, locking him in his house. Guys, don't think when I go out of jail and I was in house arrest, I wasn't told to shut up. Andrew, if you shut up, if you don't say anything, this will all go away. Just wait for the election, wait for Trump to lose, wait for Kamala to win, and we'll let you off. All you have to do is sit and be quiet. We'll let you free from your house if you just live a quiet life. No, they raid my house again, drag me back to jail, still don't shut up, still fight back, still fuck you. They tried everything, unfazed, last bullet, kept going viral. Kamala Harris's whole campaign fucking failed. It failed. It failed because of me. I did it. Me. And she admitted it. She admitted it in black and fucking white. I affected a presidential election. I did.
Which explains why Sneeko, someone who was on good terms with Tate at one stage before things fell apart between them, has been openly mocking him. His point is blunt. All that effort courting Trump and building those associations delivered nothing because none of those people are showing up now.
The reason they did that, thank you for the sub, 90. The reason that the Tates never criticized Trump is because deep down they were really hoping that Trump would go and save them if they got arrested and if they were called to be extradited to the United Kingdom. Well, look. It didn't work, stupid. Now you're arrested. Trump's not going to save you. All that twerking you did, all that begging you did. Look now. You thought that you could sacrifice your own religion, you could sell out your own people, your own faith, apparently. It didn't even work. Trump's not going to save you. All that slurping you did. They destroyed their reputation by throwing me under the bus by saying they have tech teams in Israel. Sneeko did it. Sneeko played the song. Please don't arrest me. Well, now you got arrested, you stupid idiot. You refused to call out Trump, even though he's owned by Jewish supremacists, hoping that he would save you from your extradition to the UK, and he didn't. So you sold out, you destroyed your reputation, you sold out your faith, you threw me under the bus, and you still got arrested. Anybody still defending this too, now that there's charges of them holding indecent images of a child? I don't know what you have to say about, I don't know how you can keep credibility with them. I don't know if you think this is a Matrix attack. If it was a Matrix attack, wouldn't Elon Musk, the trillionaire, tied up with Mossad and Netanyahu and speaking to Netanyahu regularly by Netanyahu's admission, wouldn't Elon Musk be calling for Tate's deportation too?
The whole thing is bizarre, given that this arrest happened on American soil while he was actively maintaining relationships with people close to Trump. Reporting suggests the brothers spent several days in Washington immediately before the arrest, hosted by a Trump envoy. They were photographed in the halls of Capitol Hill and at one of the city's most exclusive private members clubs. The former modeling scout credited with introducing Melania to the president invited them to a summer party. The night before, that same Italian-American businessman took the pair to an exclusive private members event near the White House, the kind regularly attended by senior political figures.
Because both Andrew and Tristan Tate have spent the last few years trying to build bonds with the Trump administration and even with members of President Donald Trump's own family. For example, the New York Times reported last year that Andrew Tate has been in calls on Zoom with Trump's youngest son, Barron Trump. Donald Trump Jr. also called the charges against the Tate brothers absolute insanity on the social media platform X. That's the original charges from a few years ago. It should be stressed that the two brothers strenuously deny all the charges against them, although they are now facing criminal investigations in both the United Kingdom and Romania. This is kind of a big test for the Trump administration because Donald Trump spent the last election campaign really courting the manosphere. He went on several manosphere-related podcasts with allies of the Tate brothers, and the Tate brothers have kind of boasted about this relationship with Donald Trump. And that's interesting because with this extradition procedure, the ultimate say-so whether they get extradited or not is Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who of course works directly for Donald Trump. So this is really a huge test of this supposed relationship between Andrew Tate, the manosphere, and the administration of Donald Trump. So we're really going to be watching to see what happens.
The list of connections goes further. Trump's former personal lawyer, who was forced out as New Jersey's top prosecutor in December, told Tate on a podcast in January that she had his back. Vice President J.D. Vance follows both brothers on X.
James Uthmeyer. Okay. Ulfmeyer, something like this. So he opened an investigation into me the second I land as an American citizen, saying that I'm a human trafficker and I'm a bad person and all this garbage. I expected to come home to a fucking hero's welcome. And I did a podcast with Candace Owens about that because even she said this is insane. You know what he did? He wrote to the Brits saying, do you want me to arrest him and send him to you? You got an active warrant. Do you want me to send him to you? I'll come get him and send him to you. He wrote to the Brits. And I'm sitting in Florida in Miami, and I refuse to leave. So I keep tweeting, come get me, Ron. Come get me, James. Come get me. Come get me. Come get me. Because, Jack, I've lost my mind. I finally get free from this fucking mess. I come back to the country my father served for. And they fucking open a case on me and start saying I'm a human trafficker. Why? Because Romania said so, the country that can't even have an election? And now we're going to repeat what they said like it means a fucking thing? I come to Florida where I'm suing girl A, and I'm attacked by the state? And I did a podcast with Candace on it because I was so flabbergasted. That piece of shit writes to the Brits.
Here's what's actually driving Tate's desperation to avoid extradition. In Britain, he is comprehensively loathed by the political class. MPs across the country and figures across the political spectrum have repeatedly condemned the narratives and agendas he pushes online. Schools have banned discussion of him. Out of everywhere he could end up, the UK is where he's hated most.
After I called out Elon Musk for platforming extremism, Tate's followers immediately descended on me with a flood of abuse and harassment. That was not random. That was a deliberate attempt to silence an elected representative. I was bombarded with death threats, rape jokes and abuse from accounts both local and international. Then, the Tate brothers themselves came after me. Two men running from the most serious criminal charges, propped up by the world's most powerful leaders. And they targeted me, an elected representative from Northern Ireland, for daring to speak my mind.
Shocking.
wasn't even about them. It was about Musk. But it was a calculated attempt to silence an elected politician. I was, in their words, a nice target, a direct attack on democracy and this House itself. But this is not just about individuals. It is about democracy. We have seen a deliberate, organised effort to create an online environment where extremism flourishes, where intimidation becomes the norm, and where women, minorities and political opponents are driven out of public life.
So that's the state of play right now. The American door has closed, Romania has every financial reason to keep its own case open forever, and Britain is stuck waiting on a legal process it can't control. Whatever happens next comes down to whether those two governments decide to cooperate. If you got something out of this, drop a like. It helps this channel more than most people realise. And if you're new around here, this is Creator Pulse, so subscribe and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Catch you in the next one.